pursue a hot day. Coffee comes back in a bragging way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day. Kids got their quizzes.
Welcome to Schenectady today, in and around the capital region. We're so happy you're joining us today. And behind me, I've got 4 guys that are going to be singing for you, so it's going to be fun. But let me tell you what we're doing today for the show. We're going to be starting out with the Electric City Chorus, their group of the Forgettable Four, which they are not very forgettable. Believe me, they're really great. We're going to be talking about singing Valentines. And then we're going to be going over to Rensselaer for the Russian Winter Festival, which is a fabulous event. You're going to learn more about that. And we even have one of the artists that's being featured, so you'll see some of his works. Beautiful work. Then we're going to find out from the St. Clair retirees just how's that whole thing going along. We read about it in the paper. They're going to give us a first-hand view of what's going on. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about how you can get your taxes done for free. And that's a good deal. I mean, free is always good. And then we have a guest, Ron Soriano, and we're going to be having a conversation with him. He's a filmmaker. He does hair. He also is going to Cuba. He's a traveler. We're going to find out more about his life. And then we're going to wrap up the show with the Electric City Barn. They are doing some great stuff in Schenectady. We're going to be talking about that. And our breaks today are going to be these guys, actually, but they'll be on film. So let me get out of your way. Who's going to be speaking? You.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, what are you going to do?
What are we singing? We're going to be singing In My Life, a Beatles song, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Oh, I love that's from the Lion King.
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit about these singing Valentines.
First, we'd like to really thank you for graciously having us here.
Love you guys.
4th or 5th year in a row to promote our Singing Valentines. And what that is a quartet goes out into the community wherever your loved one might be or your significant other might be, and present them with a rose, a card, a sampler box of chocolates, and 2 beautiful love songs, an unforgettable experience.
Well, I have to say, you did serenade me one year.
Yes, we did.
And it was very touching.
And you remembered it. It's very memorable, isn't it?
It was memorable. As a matter of fact, I brought the video just in case.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Well, I'm going to let you guys sing, and then we'll chat a little bit after that. Go ahead.
Dim doo 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 doo. Dim doo 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 doo. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I love them all. Dim doo 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 doo. But of all the friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Dim doo 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 doo. In my life, I love you more.
Wow, that was great. You're going to sing the next one, yeah?
Can you feel it? There's a calm surrender to the rush of day when the heat of the rolling world can't be turned away. An enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. And can you feel the love tonight, tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we got this far, and can you feel the love tonight, tonight? How it's laid to rest, It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very, very best. There's a time for everyone if they only learn that the twisting kaleidoscope moves us all in turn. There's a rhyme and reason to the wild outdoors when the heart of this star-crossed voyager beats in time with yours. And can you feel the love tonight, tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we got this far, and can you feel the love tonight, tonight? How it's laid to rest, It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best.
Oh, that was beautiful. Can you introduce the entire group?
Hi, I'm Dave Ivanell. I sing tenor.
Scott Rigney, I sing lead or melody.
Don Coutinho, I sing bass.
Chuck Ferrone, I sing baritone.
Okay, what a great group. But, you know, I want to just, we're almost out of time, but I want to remind people, it's always nice to send this to someone, your partner or your love or whatever, but it's also nice to send something like this to a nursing home.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We go to all the senior citizen communities in the Capital District, and we've done many, many Valentines there in nursing homes, and we'll go anywhere.
You'll go anywhere
Anywhere.
in the capital region.
Anywhere in the Capital Region.
Because I have a friend in Alaska. But Alaska's coming to us, I think.
That's true.
So I want to thank you. And the main thing is you're going to be doing this on Valentine's Day and from 8 to 8. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's from 8 to 8 on the 14th, and part of the proceeds go to our community partner, the Schenectady Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, great group.
Yes, and also part of the proceeds are for scholarships for our Youth Harmony Camp.
Yeah, wonderful. You guys are so good. I love to listen to you, and I love that video that I have that Greg sent me.
Again, thank you so much for having us again.
Thank you all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be seeing them actually at the break. So stay tuned.
And
Wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose, Irish rose, my wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose, my rose, the bloom from my wild Irish rose, wild Irish rose.
we'll sing it as our second number. How many parties we have? No. Huh? Our second song will be Heart of My Hearts, another traditional Valentine's Day song.
Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you.
Well, there they were with their white jackets on that time. But anyway, right now I am so pleased. The Russian Winter Festival is an amazing festival. And Tanya, you bring out such wonderful talent. So tell us a little bit about the one this year. It's going to be a Rensselaer again, like it was last year.
Right.
You have a new place.
Yeah. We have second year in a row. We have a festival in our own building, and every year we have featured guests. And this year for the festival we have the guest sculpture and painting Timur Yusupov from St. Petersburg. And part of the festival is going to be, it's already is going, his exhibition.
You do a whole month of it, really, because
Right.
you do the music and you do poetry and things like that.
Yes, as it's the annual events, we have a Tchaikovsky music competition, piano, vocal, and violin, and we have a Russian poetry recital contest, and we have exhibition, and we have a grand finale, which is going to be February 16th
Big event.
from 11 to 5, which is going to be combine everything, exhibition, crafts, arts, performances,
booth.
food. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the artist, Timur, and your wonderful work from St. Petersburg. And he came here with his art. Beautiful work.
Thank
you do
you.
paintings and you do sculptures.
Yes.
He is a
More
professional sculptor. He graduated from the prestigious Muhina Art Institute for Monumental Art, and he actually his work is monumental mostly in Alo in St. Petersburg and different public places. Huge sculptures, but this is only samples what we have on a table, and the size of this is very small, and this is even more you can say practical whatever, because it's actually pink color.
That's true. You can use it.
Yes.
Okay. I just like to look.
Practical.
Okay, yeah. What else we can say about
This is beautiful as well. Which do you prefer, sculpting or do you like painting?
Sculptor. I'm more sculptor.
Do you? I have no idea how you do something like this. Is this done like casting, or how do you do that?
Как это было изготовлено?
Это сначала делается из пластилина,
It's going to be enough after the rubber.
потом негатив делают негатив.
Okay, like a negative. Okay,
Negative.
got it.
And wask, and bronze.
So you can do
James and bronze.
10 of these if you want to.
Yes.
10? 10?
Okay.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so once you do the casting, you can make more of them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. Right now we have about 15 the paintings and 10 sculptures size like this
Yeah.
at the center.
Now, we had a photo there of his painting, if we can bring up that maybe, or maybe you already have, I wasn't watching the thing. But he's done some paintings, because I saw those on your
The
website.
paintings as well, yes.
And do you work in any other media? There. Okay, did he do that sculpture?
This is what I said. Mostly it's a monumental sculpture. It's in a public space in St. Petersburg, all over. You can see this sculpting outside, inside of the malls. And this one is just a simple.
The smaller one. Well, because they're easier to carry
Right,
around. Those are a little
yes.
tough to carry, yeah. And I love his art. His art is beautiful. Very
Thank you,
nice.
thank
I like the lines that you do
Можно
as well.
предложить, можно сделать 4-метровую для Олбани.
He said he can do that for the Albany, the 8 feet figures like that.
Oh, okay, good. So, and how long are you here for? I mean, are you visiting for a month, 2 months?
2 months. 2 months.
2 months.
Couple
2
months.
months, yeah. Well, this is wonderful that you bring in such because you've brought in talent, musical talent. I love that you brought an artist in.
We have a local artist as well, but we always want to bring someone directly from Russia.
Yeah.
And by the way, if we will go to all the arts at the festival, we have a bilingual play this year. It's called Frosty. This our Russian drama club produced with our wonderful artistic director Yuri Naumkin.
I think he was on last year, wasn't he? He was on the show last year.
So yeah, and so this is bilingual play. It's for general public. Everyone will can understand what's going on. It's the story Frosty. It's Frosty or Grandfather Frost. It's just like a Santa Claus.
Like Santa Claus. Okay, good. I would recommend that you get tickets and go to visit this festival. It's like everything's kind of going on, and the food is there, and the music is there. And I love what you're doing. I must compliment Tanya, because what she has done with the new cultural center is amazing. I mean, she's always done a lot, but when I see her emails, get on her email list and go visit something, because you do movies, you do everything that is cultural about Russia.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Because it's important to learn about other cultures and see
This
the
is-
different art that is done and the different styles and the music. And the Russian music to me is like,
Thank you.
It re-
American music too, for me.
but it really, when I hear Russian music, it's like it's got heart or something. There's something there that, you know.
Okay, at the festival we have an all winners concert. We have a Tchaikovsky music competition.
I love
So you will
Tchaikovsky.
see it's a piano, vocal, and violin. Beautiful voices, beautiful young pianists and violinists. Please come and listen to Russian music.
And she's brought kids on sometimes to do the poetry.
Yes.
And they're
And also we have
amazing.
a
I mean,
poetry.
it's just, I can't tell you that going to these cultural events is so inspiring to me to see the different, what joy it comes forth in the culture.
The poetry recital contest, I would like to bring attention that is going to be 2 divisions, native speakers and not native speakers. And we have not native speakers who does not know Russian at all, but they learn a Russian poem
I
and
know.
recite it.
I know. It's I watch those kids doing it. It's like,
Not only kids, adults as well.
adults too. Yeah, don't ask me to do that. I don't know if I could do that. But anyway, it's wonderful though that you do that and you keep the culture alive, you keep the language alive, you keep the music alive. It's so important to do that. And you as a viewer, get your tickets and go and enjoy this and bring your kids so that they learn about another culture, right?
You're right.
You did costumes one year too.
The costumes as well. And I would like to bring attention to this because it's a miniature sculptures. It's available for sale. It's the
Oh,
exhibition.
you can buy these.
You can
Okay,
buy it.
good.
He will not bring this back.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't want to carry it on the plane.
Yeah,
Good. I want to thank you both for being here. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Yes. And it's always good to see you as well. And I love what you do. I have to say this. I just love what you've been doing. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be learning a little bit more about what St. Clair's is enduring, I should say, the pensioners. Stay tuned.
From you I never can sever. Say you'll be mine forever. I love you.
And for our final song, we'll be singing Let Me Call You Sweetheart, another traditional Valentine love song.
Like they were saying before, we will go any place to sing a singing Valentine. For $50, you get 4 good-looking guys, 4 great voices, and we're not embarrassed to go anywhere. I sang one time in a gym, a big husky guy.
And here we are back again, and with me is Peter Jones. He's been on the show before talking about what's going on with the pensioners, but this time we've brought on another guest, and we have Angela Stewart, right? Is that,
Yes.
Stewart, right. And you're a nurse,
I
and you
am.
worked there, and
I
you
did.
retired, and you expected
A
what you
pension.
were offered, right?
Absolutely.
And what
absolutely.
happened?
So I am one of the 600 that you've heard about on the newspaper
Yeah,
and in the other media.
And it just came as a shock.
Absolute shock. Absolute shock. I worked there from 1978 until we merged with Ellis. I'd actually started collecting my pension in May. I retired in May.
So let's see, May, June, it didn't
May,
last too long,
May
did it?
to January was my last payment. So now February, I've lost 44% of my income. So I'm living differently, living very differently,
but what, I mean-
and
they had told us-
hoping for some.
Is there going to be
changes.
any compensation on this? Have they found out who was responsible for this snafu?
Nobody's taking the blame.
No, nobody is.
Yeah.
And then I love the cartoon that was in the paper when it says, "Oh no, it wasn't me. I didn't have anything to do with it." I don't know that the state is really responsible, other than oversight. But somebody had their hands on that money that was supposed to be investing it. There's that cartoon that was up there, and I thought that was very telling.
Yes,
Yes.
we're getting bulldozed.
Yeah.
But we've had a committee that's been working for the last 2.5
you met
years
with the
now.
bishop.
We have met with the bishop.
But it was a very small group. You didn't get everybody.
Well, the original group with
Yeah.
the bishop was anybody who wanted to come.
Oh, okay.
The bishop meeting on the last week, on the 8th, was the committee, the politicians, and the bishop.
How far are you getting ahead on this? Other than meetings, chit chat. We want action.
Well, there's hope. Senator Tedesco and the other politicians are introducing legislation to include $20 million of money to be included in next year's budget. And the bishop is going to try to come up with the other $20 million, looking at his budget as well as the Mother Cabrini Fund, which apparently is a fund that resulted in the sale of Fidelis,
Okay.
which I didn't even know the
I
Catholic.
didn't know that
yeah.
either. But I guess I'm sorry. When you have a retirement fund, that money is there. And hopefully some of its money is earning interest. So therefore that should be earning interest every year to kind of cover this. What happened to it? I mean, why do we need to find it here and there? Where did it go?
Well, there was money in there for us up until the merger.
Okay.
And after the merger, that was one thing Ellis
they
said they
agreed
did
to-
not take on. And so the state put, I think it was 32 or 28
28 million.
28
The
million.
state got
The
involved in
state,
this?
because they ordered the closing.
The Burger Commission.
The Burger Commission.
So
Who
they
told
ordered
you
the
to shut down
closing.
your maternity
Right.
and shut down your cardiac.
It
or
was
whatever.
it was a very difficult time for all of us,
Yeah.
but
My two daughters had worked at St.
Part of the
Clair's, so
agreement.
I as nurses, so I know what.
part of the agreement at the time of that merger was that the Burger Commission said that the state was going to give monies to support that pension, to fund that
Fund that
pension.
pension, yeah.
So since
But the money should have
Since
already
New
been
York
there to
State
begin
was
with, right?
involved.
And they were adding more to it. Is that it?
they were adding monies to the pension
Okay,
fund,
all right.
yes,
Make it whole.
to make it whole.
Okay.
And obviously, they underestimated. There
You
was
think
a,
it was
a
an
big-
underestimation or a misuse of the money, or can you even say?
Actually, at
I
our
have
last
no idea.
meeting,
So there's no way of knowing what really happened.
at our last meeting, they were encouraging us to write letters to the comptroller to perform an audit of what was going on with
That
that
makes
money.
sense. It makes sense.
Yes, yes.
It's interesting because there's 3 church funds in this area. The other 2 did fine. We didn't. So and they all had to
Okay,
have
let's
done.
think about that for a minute. Why?
I don't know. I
Well,
don't
they've
know.
been able to fund it. I think the whole story was St. Clair's took care of the poor, took care of the underprivileged.
They were one. I mean, you've got.
Couldn't pay the bills, couldn't meet payroll
It was a
sometimes,
hospital
and they had to do that
with a heart.
first before
And a
they put money in the
yeah.
pension.
Had a
And I
hospital
think
with-
they always thought we would be able to fix it later on. That
We
you know,
never
we
dreamt
didn't
that
we
we
didn't
wouldn't be
think
there.
St. Clair's was going to close, and St. Clair's needed to close as part of the Burger Commission's decision to reduce hospital beds in Schenectady.
Well,
so
actually-
when that all happened, this all came forth, and the pension didn't have time to be funded anymore. St. Clair's closed its doors.
Initially, St. Clair's was not supposed to close. Bellevue was supposed to close.
But nobody wanted the maternity hospital closed.
Well, St. Clair's had a great
It
maternity
was
I know they
unit.
did. I
complicated.
know they did. I
It was
know they- I know they
complicated
did, yeah.
because of the Catholic identity,
Yeah.
and we needed to surrender the Catholic identity. But up
Oh,
until
you
the
think
day
that was
we
it?
closed,
Okay.
we
That was
had a
part of it.
Catholic identity,
Yeah.
which is why they feel that the Archdiocese of Albany and the bishop, of course, should be involved. We're trying to avoid pointing fingers at this point.
Yeah.
We're really trying to work together. And the last meeting
That's
we
the only
had
way you can approach it,
with the
really.
politicians and the bishop in the same room, that really was the first positive meeting.
Do you see a?
They're all on the same page
Do you
now.
see a resolution?
I
We're
don't
hoping
have
for
a
a
crystal ball. We're
Okay.
hoping. We've
We
been
have hope.
hoping for things to change.
If-
And we're going to ask people to help us by actually writing to Mario Cuomo.
Well, there we are. I mean, we're
there-
we're
you know,
talking to our
if there's-
viewers right
if
now.
you're still supporting us as pensioners and are feeling for us, please do. Write
our
to write to
petition.
Mario Cuomo, because he and only he is the one who can sign the bill and
Push it,
approve
yeah.
the funding
Yeah.
to be approved, and write to the bishop as well.
Now, if this is kind of an odd question, but they've stopped paying you, right?
Yeah.
Will they make that up if you? I mean, or will they just pick it up at the date that there's no?
I
clue?
think that people should be made whole.
Yeah.
And that would mean that they would get whatever they stopped getting on February
they
1st,
get that
they
piece
should get.
in the middle.
Right.
Okay.
That's what we're hopeful for.
Yeah.
Is to fully
And
fund the
you
pension.
guys got a dirty deal. I mean, there's just no question about it.
You know, initially, when we knew it was going to run out, they told us we had until 2024.
I know that.
So everybody adjusted according to that. You know, a lot of people took their Social Security early.
Mm-hmm.
Some took their pension early just so they'd get something. And now to have it suddenly
Ripped out from
disappear
under
and
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
very little notice.
No,
very
there wasn't
little,
hardly
like a
any
month,
notice, yeah.
A month.
Because I saw the letter. I mean, somebody gets a letter and bam, it's like, oh, you're done. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, wait a minute.
Because I made decisions that I would never have made. I would still be working
Yeah,
had I known that this was going
exactly.
to happen to all
You still
of
have your
us.
profession, of course.
Right,
and, yeah.
right.
And see, I'm old enough to have gotten some, So I got some, but it's about 40% of what I expected.
Yeah.
And so, hopefully it will last, but who knows? Who knows?
But we have had tremendous support, and I do
I
want
think
to
the
say that.
community has
From the
supported you.
community, from the physicians, the medical society. We've had tremendous support from all the politicians, from the media, you folks, the newspapers,
Well, I
the
think we
people
all
that are
feel for
working
you.
on
We
the
really
committee.
feel for you. So.
Just so many people have come forth. Even the New York State retirees wrote a huge article in the paper supporting us. So
Well, let's hope that the next time you come on the show,
we have good news.
we have good news, but you know that we're all plugging for you. And if you go to the website, there is a petition there, I
Right.
believe, that you can
Yes,
sign. Or on
over
Facebook.
4,000
Yeah.
signatures
Yeah,
now.
so we put that up there, so we hope that
Great.
people will do that. Thank you both for being here, and I
Thank
do,
you,
I do
too.
feel bad for you guys. I really do. It's not fair. Not fair.
No, it wasn't.
But anyway, we're gonna. It's gonna get
And
resolved.
thank you for having
It's gonna
us.
get resolved. I have faith. Anyway.
We all do.
We're going
Got it.
to be talking about taxes next with Tracy Randall. So stay tuned.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you.
And here we are back again, and with me is Tracy Randall. She is the director of the Cash Coalition. She's over at United Way, and if you want to find more about how to get an appointment, I think you have to call the United Way number, 211, or
211, yeah.
get a hold of you. How are things going? Are you still looking for volunteers?
Always looking for volunteers. Always looking for volunteers. We have more and more calls coming in every day. We're booked solid into March already.
Oh
so,
my God, and you have a lot of sites.
Yes, we have 21 sites.
You think people are more concerned about taxes this year because of the changes, or and they're leaving it all up to you?
I absolutely do. I think people are more concerned about taxes right now because, of course, the government shut down and then all of the delays and refunds and things that are going on. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today especially were the scams that are going around.
Yes, yes.
Because the
Please
government was
do.
shut down and because things are going to be just a little bit delayed, not a lot delayed, you're going to see a lot more scammers coming out. Emails, phone calls, commercials.
That they're going to get your money ahead of time, right?
Yeah, but
And there's comes with a price.
yes, but absolutely know that the IRS would never ask for your confidential information. That's your date of birth, your social security card.
And they're not going to call you. They're going to write you a letter.
They're going to write you a letter, and it's going to have an official stamp, and you're going to get 2 or 3 letters before you actually have to do anything. So you're not going to get one letter in the mail and they say, send me your bank account information and send this money.
Yeah, don't you love it? We need your social security number, like they didn't already have it,
Yeah.
right? And we need your address and what bank account, and those are scams. Anything like that, no matter where you get it
Yeah.
from, it's a scam.
Yes.
Because that's, and the other thing I'd like to address is these loans that,
Yes.
so you go to a tax preparer and they say, you're going to get so much, why don't we go ahead and give you the money? And then, but that comes at a price.
Yeah, so given the fact that loans are going to be, or refunds will be a little bit delayed this year, beware of those types of tax schemes. Those loans do come with a cost.
And they're not little.
No, it could be up to 30% of whatever your refund is.
So if you get $1,000 back, you'll get $600 back, roughly.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, it'll say interest-free, but there's another fee that's associated.
Yeah.
Or it'll say 0 fees attached, but there's something else associated. So just beware, read the fine print. As far as I'm concerned, come to us first. It's better to wait until March to get your refund than to pay $500 or $600 to get a loan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's a loan.
It's a loan.
They can use any phrase they want, but it still boils down to a loan.
Yes.
What's happening with I understand, with all this new tax changes and things, I understand that most people now they're finding will just take the standard deduction.
Yes, so one way that the IRS is trying to limit how much paperwork comes into the federal government is to increase the standard deduction, which came with Trump's changes for the 2018 tax year. So the standard deduction doubled for most people this year, which covers most Schedule A items: mortgage interest, charitable donations, any type of real estate taxes, property taxes. So up to, for a married couple filing joint, you can file up to $24,000 on a standard deduction, which is pretty good. And for a single person, it's up to $12,000. So most of your itemized deductions that comes on a Schedule A will probably be covered in those standard deductions this year.
Well, the only thing we can do is do our taxes and find out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the tough part. Now, when I say I come to you and have it done, will it tell me, will the person tell me, this, whatever it is, will it come up and say you're better off doing it this way or that way?
Yes. So we can do a comparison, a parallel for standard deductions and itemized deductions. We still put all of your information in, and then we'll look and see which one is the best option for you to choose.
Yeah. I know I use a tax program myself. And it usually does. It says you're better off doing this than that. So it gives you that, even though you've done all the work and I didn't have to do all that, But anyway, it is what it is. Would you advise people file as soon as possible, or it doesn't make any difference?
Yes, file as early as possible. That's to avoid identity theft. That's to avoid any delay in further processing. But as soon as possible.
Okay. And so just get your paperwork together, and even if you come to one of your sites, make sure when you come you have all the information with you, right?
Yes. And unfortunately for some people, if you invest, if you have some retirement accounts that are actually IRAs with investment accounts associated with it, you're going to get your paperwork a little bit later in February, early March.
Yeah.
So you have to wait, but as soon as you get that paperwork, get in somewhere and get those taxes filed.
And of course you do that, but you also work with AARP that does some of the tax prep as well.
Yes, they're our sister program.
Yeah, and it has to do with they have a higher amount that you can, I guess, work with, right?
Yeah, they don't really have an income limit per se.
Okay, that's the difference.
They work with individuals that are 55 and older, primarily.
Okay, good. So you're busy, huh?
Yeah, really busy right now.
Do you do any of the taxes?
I do. I have fun doing it. I don't have to, but I know
she
I'm
has
a
fun
nerd.
doing it. I'm taking her home with me. Would you like to come home with me? If you think that's fun. No, when you're doing somebody else's, it's probably fun.
It is. I like that. It's the joy of helping.
Yeah.
And
it is true.
Seeing a smile on someone's face.
Yeah, that they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, we'll see you again, I'm sure, because we're going to do a wrap up eventually on this show. On the show with the tax prep. And again, the Cash Coalition is creating assets and
savings and hope.
And hope, right. So the hope is good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. It's
Thank
always
you,
good, a
Ann.
pleasure to see you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be having a conversation with Ron Soriano. Stay tuned.
From Greg do we bring. Now here's what he asked us to sing. Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you.
And those are are the Forgettable Four, who are not forgettable, and doing some nice music there. Hey,
Yes.
Ron, good to
Hi.
see you again.
Good. Same
Yeah,
here.
tell me what's going on in your life. We're going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You, of course, have a salon.
Yes, Moisture
And you
Salon.
do the hair.
Curly hair.
Curly hair, which I do not have.
No?
But anyway, but a lot of people do, and it's
Yes.
important to have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so that's where I've changed my business model with a lot of stuff. I'm actually reaching out to the schools, to the cosmetology schools, to see if we can fix the state boards. Because the state boards do
Fix the
not.
state boards.
Yeah, the state boards still, they're so archaic. They basically have students doing pin curl clips.
Who does
they-
pin curls?
Yeah, I know, finger waves, but they
Who
don't.
does a finger wave?
Back in the 40s. So there's
Get
nothing.
out.
Yeah,
I bet
there's.
they even have those things that you go up into the.
Oh yeah, we have to be tested on that. So
Really?
that's part of our practical exam. So with that being said, I would like to be able to go into the schools, go into the state boards, and to be able to introduce a curly segment, because there's not one segment about curly hair.
Okay.
That's going on.
Do they do color? They must do color as
Yeah,
well.
they don't teach much about the color either. So this
really?
is why I've reached out. I educate at the BOCES, Capital Region BOCES,
Okay.
to Schoharie and to the Capital Region. I also teach at the EOC in Troy, and
What are you doing in your
just-
spare time? Oh, wait,
Yeah, right.
he's a filmmaker.
Yeah, so
And
in
we
this-
got a clip
yeah,
from the film. Now tell me about
yeah.
the film. Give us an introduction
So
to this.
basically the film, I named it The Root to All Curls. So this past summer, I decided to take my curly hair dog, myself, and a client that
Did you really
is-
mean a dog?
Yeah, I
Woof,
have.
woof,
I
dog?
have my Cece. So
Okay.
Cece is my pet at the salon. She's a
Okay.
curly hair
Good.
dog.
Yeah.
So I took her and a client that's 18 that is a filmmaker. She loves to film. So we went cross country for a month in my pickup truck, and we drove from state to state, reaching out
Oh,
to
there, look. Is that her?
curl salons. That's actually a woman that was filmed in one of the states. So in the background, you can see the American map, and I took that with every single person that was there.
And you know, for a while there, everyone wanted to straighten their hair.
Yeah.
And I say, go with a curl.
Yeah, it's totally different now, because one of the things that's out there, there's people like us all around the country and the world. We're a huge network. We network to each other. We help each other out, and the products. It's educating.
Yeah,
So
there's the
that's
map again.
basically So it's everywhere you go. This issue happens. It's not just in a regional spot. It's not just in a socially spot where the curls don't happen. It needs to be addressed. So in my spare time, that's what I like to do. And now this is my second time going to Cuba. So 2 years ago, I traveled
Where do you go?
to Havana.
Havana, okay.
So there's a Art Corte project,
Okay.
which is a nonprofit organization in downtown Havana that this gentleman, Pepito, Gilberto, but he goes by Pepito, has created this free school for students. The class that I taught 2 years ago, about 2/3 of them were deaf. So there was a translator that spoke Spanish and English, so it really helped me out.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I went 2 years ago, I taught curly hair.
Okay.
I'm going back in April with a whole group of stylists that we're going to teach straight hair, curly hair. We know that they're going to flat iron their hair. We know they're going to
Well, you
straighten
know,
their
you
hair.
say that because my daughter, I remember her getting ready for school, and she had the ironing board there. She had her hair down, and
Yeah.
she was ironing her hair, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
I said, honey, your hair is so pretty.
Yeah, so that's what we want to do. I mean, culturally, things are going to be in certain regions. They're going to do that because in Cuba, they're not sure where they're going to get their products from. They're not sure where
yeah,
they're going to
yeah.
get their heat tools from. So for them, if we can teach them, okay, less heat, no heat. These are the products that you can try to make yourself.
See, I don't use any heat on my hair
yeah.
at all because it's like it just dries it out.
Right, and then also educating people on the right ingredients, because all these products that are out in the market, most of them are horrible for curly hair. They're actually horrible for hair
Any
in general.
Yeah, it dries it out probably.
Right,
more
because
so.
we have over 24, in the EU, the European market, there's 2,400 ingredients that are omitted from products. You know how many they have in the United States? 24.
So
we're
it sounds like
we're-
we just are really into the chemical industry.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly what we are.
DuPont
So
is, DuPont is it
yeah,
DuPont, one
all of
those?
them,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter if it's a high-end product or a product that you get at
dollar
at
store.
the dollar store. You look at them; they have the same ingredients.
Yeah.
So in our salon, and what I like to do is teach how and why these products are acting and reacting in your hair to achieve a better hair quality in your life, healthy hair lifestyle.
I always think when you put that stuff on your head, it's so close to your brain.
Totally. It is.
I mean, isn't that
It
an awful?
is,
But
yeah.
I'm thinking, because I used to color my hair, and I go, wait a second, all that stuff is going into my.
Yeah, that's why a majority of my color clients right now, I've eliminated probably about 2/3 of my color clients. I've had them go natural silver.
Yeah, yeah.
So we don't say gray anymore either. We say silver.
Silver.
So silver is better.
Oh,
They don't want
natural.
gray. Yeah. So I've decided as a business owner, knowing that it was going to hurt my business.
Yeah.
In money and revenue, but
But
I
it's better
wanted
for
my
your client to be
yeah,
happy.
I wanted my client sitting there and not sitting in a chemo chair.
Yeah.
Getting
Chemo
radiation.
chill.
Yeah. That's
What a
that's
way
how
to
I
put
see
it. Oh my God. Yeah.
You know, I'm there for the health of the hair.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do.
So what made you decide to go to Cuba? I mean,
Just, I love their culture.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
love what they're
amazing.
doing there. And to be able to bring a team with me this time, it's really,
and you're not
really
having
rewarding.
any trouble getting there then?
No,
Like,
because of the
it's an
educational aspect.
aspect.
Yeah. So you just have to get your visa. And Southwest actually does it for you. So we're all going. We're staying at an Airbnb. All of us are going.
Do they have Airbnbs there?
Yeah, they do. They've privatized a lot of the stuff, but it's still watched by the government.
Yeah, very watchful.
And I have two of my
But
friends that are
I know
from
that
Australia.
when Greg went to Cuba, he said he went to Santiago de Cuba.
I was there as well.
He said the people are amazing.
Yeah, Santiago is so different because it's so close to Jamaica.
Exactly,
So
and
it's
there's
very
more
Afro-Cuban there. The culture is so
He
different.
loved it there.
Yeah, I loved Santiago. I loved Cienfuegos, Maria La Gorda. I did it the first time I was in Cuba. I took a cruise.
Oh, okay.
And it started in Montego Bay, and then the second time I actually flew right into Havana, and that's very challenging because they don't allow cabs to the airport. They have to drop you off at a certain spot, and you're like wheeling your bag down the streets. It's different. It's a different culture, but
Isn't that
it's
what you do
amazing.
when you
Yes.
travel? You want a new experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So and on top of that, I was just in Brazil again. So I teach all over the world.
Yeah.
So I teach all over the world.
You found your niche, didn't you, my friend?
Yeah, I did. I did. I totally found my niche, and now we're starting something else that we just started introducing because many people with curly hair, they have their curls are not uniform. So we have some that may have like looser wave in the back, tight up top, and they want to try to grow their hair long and they can't. So what have I decided?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of curly hair people have inconsistencies in their
Okay.
curls, even mine.
Yeah.
I have like no curl here, but I'm really curly hair.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm actually doing reconstructive.
You don't do pin curls then?
No, but we're going to do perms. Organic perms.
Oh, okay.
Restructuring the
To
hair.
kind of just make
Just to
everything
isolate it. Yeah.
just where it's
To
needed.
keep it uniform. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
so
idea.
we're doing an organic perm in the salon. I just purchased a huge air filtration system so that we're not smelling those fumes. And
Amazing.
to be able
and where are
to.
you located? Just so people know where you're located.
I'm on Barrett Street.
Yeah.
I'm at 158 Barrett Street, right downtown here. I'm
Yeah.
about 2 blocks from here.
Yeah.
So I live and work in my studio. I just absolutely love my
With your
building.
dog.
With my dog, yes.
Love it. What do you do with your dog when you're in Cuba?
I have people watch her
Okay,
and stuff
good.
like that. Yeah, I have a big support with
Yeah,
Cece. Cece's like the mayor dog down here.
I love
Everybody
a mayor
knows
dog.
Who,
I love that.
Everybody knows who Cece is. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it homier.
Yes.
You know, when you do that.
Oh yeah, people love it. They think it's therapy.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact that I'm going out there.
It may be therapy for them, but you're just enjoying having your animal, your companion, your animal
yes,
companion with
yes.
you. I hate to say pet or anything because they become part of the family. And
Oh,
that's,
totally.
And that's who they are.
Oh, they
right?
are.
Yeah.
And she has the full reign of the place. So
Well, I want to thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for
and
having
telling
me
me a
on
little bit
again.
about your life and what
Yeah.
you're doing. And I love to do these segments where I do a conversation with because
Yeah.
you learn a lot more about the person and you find out that you're in Schenectady. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
because it's so important. And you're the only place I know that caters to curly hair.
yeah,
I wish I had curly
specifically,
hair.
right?
I could come.
Yes. So, but there's more and more people that
Yeah.
are starting to
You're
specialize
raising the
in
awareness.
it. Yeah, and that's where I want to do it with the schools.
Good.
I want to do it, teach them young to be able to. People shouldn't have to travel 4 hours to get to me.
No.
When they pass all these other salons.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well,
it should be
you're
taught.
raising the awareness, and
Yeah.
you're going to be the guru of curly hair.
Thank you very
We're
much.
going to take a quick break, and we're going to be talking next about the Electric City Barn. Thanks so
Thank
much, Ron. It's
you.
always
Thank
good to
you.
see you.
You too.
Good.
Say you'll be mine forever. I love you, only you. My wild Irish rose, the
Power
sweet.
is joining us again. She's been on before, but that was before she was opened. Now you're opened at the Electric City Barn. You just did a play over there. What's going on? You're doing everything over there.
We have a lot of fun stuff going on at Electric City Barn, which did just open at the
On
very
Craig Street, right?
on Craig Street at the very beginning of November. We're at 400 Craig Street, which was the former Schenectady Boys and Girls
Yeah,
Club.
just as you turn in there. It's
Yep.
right there,
Yeah, right off of Albany Street. And so we're getting ourselves up and running. We have we've had a couple of theatrical productions, actually 3 theatrical productions since we've opened. We've worked with Creative License, which is an adult theater company, and then we have a youth theater company in residence called Masterclass Performing Arts.
wonderful,
And so,
yeah.
So they did Annie just before the holidays, and then they just wrapped this weekend Little Shop of Horrors.
I saw that one advertised. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Anyway,
So it's been great. As you know, you had me on as a guest before. We developed this project over the course of a few years, and so now
it's an offshoot from the Albany Barn.
Yes.
which is hugely successful. Now, if you open the Electric City Barn, so you've got the experience because you've already done this.
Yes, so we are trying a little bit of a different model. Our space in Albany is all privately held studio space for individual artists or collectives of artists and makers of different types with a common performance area. The Electric City Barn will function more as a maker space, so there are fewer studios, but they're larger and they are equipped for specific purposes. So in our case,
you might have 2 sculptors in the same space.
potentially, yes. So we have a wood shop, we have a metal shop,
Okay.
we have a screen printing studio, a fiber arts studio, and then we have, as part of our open co-working space, we have areas for electronics and digital media as well.
Okay. Yeah, because that's a big. I mean, that's a skill. I mean, it's an art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have folks who have joined as members for co-working. We have some folks who are already getting their hands dirty working in the studios and and working on projects there. And then we are, we've had a lot of interest from youth organizations that are interested in partnering with us so that they can provide access to their students and the young people that they're working with to the maker
Great
space.
idea. What a great idea.
It's a great way to allow young people access to the maker space while still maintaining the safety. Obviously, having young people as individual members in the wood shop or the metal shop as a mom makes me panic. But it's but so much of what we do is done in partnership.
It's guided too.
So yes, we have amazing organizations that are already working with the young people in our community. So for us, it just made sense to say, hey, do you want to bring your program into here, or can we develop or tweak your program in a way that can leverage the makerspace?
See,
And so we're working on
one of the
that.
things when I heard you speak earlier, another time, you really encourage artists to make money with their art. In other words, how can you do your art and still come out that you can support yourself?
Yes.
And I love that because you have a way of working with them to give them a lesson plan. Oh, this is the word I want. But anyways,
Oftentimes it is a
business
lesson plan.
But a business plan, a business plan to come up with how can I do my art to make greeting cards, or how could I do it commercially, or how do I do graphics, or so you have this background that you can help them with this?
Yes, so it's working at the barn has been sort of a perfect marriage of all of my personal and professional interests.
Because you have a background in this, yeah.
Yes, I've been a lover of the arts since I was very young. I'm a product of the Sales School of Fine Arts at Schenectady High, so I've always had that passion. But professionally, my background is in human resources and employment services. And so helping people to figure out their careers and how to leverage their skill sets to be self-sufficient financially, and to be, empowered economically, to have, say in what's going on and how they're conducting, their business. And I think generally we're kind of moving towards that, where there are going to be a lot more freelancers, a lot more independent contractors. And so artists have sort of always been doing that, and so we're just trying to lend a little structure to what it is that they're doing.
Do you find that with what you're doing, that you will get a woodworker to work with somebody in another media, maybe art, to come up with a new product? I mean, do they collaborate at all? I'm trying to figure out how that...
Yeah, the collaborations, sometimes it's facilitated. Somebody will be talking to me about an idea, and I'll say, oh my gosh, you need to talk to so-and-so because they do this thing and it totally complements
networking,
either mission or aesthetic-wise complements what you're doing. And then just by nature of the fact that we encourage collaborative spaces and we encourage community involvement and community building, folks just take it upon themselves. I always talk about the people who live at Albany Barn coming in, and maybe they identified as a painter, but 2-3 years later they're sculpting or doing photography. They're still painting and they're working on their painting technique and still producing, but because they're around all of these people and they have access to these skill sets, they're able to just kind of take that leap because there's really no barrier there. It's their neighbor, so it's not scary. You don't have to sign up for a class. You don't have to do this. So part of that, watching how that collaboration works and how people just sort of naturally gravitate towards sharing the things that they're passionate about, we really wanted this makerspace model to invite the community in to participate in that and to benefit from that. So if you have folks, say an experienced woodworker who just doesn't have the tools or the space in their own home to have a really fully functional wood
Maybe
shop.
they've downsized and now they've got a new space.
Absolutely, or they've done this professionally and now they're sort of figuring it out as a hobby or a second career. So they come in, they just want access to the tools in the space, and they have skills. And most people who do, craft work or creative work, they're very passionate about it. And so you get somebody to come in from the community who has curiosity and an interest, and that person, that sort of expert person will open up, and the opportunities for skill sharing are really, really incredible. And so we want to take that and we want to put it under the lens of workforce development. So how do these skills, woodworking, metalworking, computer literacy, technology, those types of things, where do those fit into skill gaps within employment sectors, and how can we facilitate that? So it's funny that you used the term lesson plan, because part of what we're doing
it was a mistake, but it worked out.
But it worked out perfectly, because through our residency program, a maker can apply for a residency to say, I'm a woodworker, I've developed this new design, I want to create 50 units, but I can't do it by myself. And then we want to find folks from the community who want to learn those skills, connect them
so there
with
is a lesson
that.
Plan.
Absolutely, connect them with that maker. And then, not every maker is a skilled facilitator or instructor. So that's where our staff can help. What does this look like? What's the full project? And how do you break it down into manageable modules of information that people can learn?
I have to tell who's coming up next.
Absolutely.
No,
I'll
we're going to come right back. We're going to be talking climate change. We're going to talk about Friends of the Library. Do you know they're opening up a store in Viaport? The Irish American Heritage Museum, they'll be on, my side will be on to talk about their Zoom into Nano, and Martin Luther King celebration was rescheduled. See how quick that was. So anyway.
You're a pro.
Yeah. So I love what you're doing, because you're an engine. I mean, I see you as an engine for our community with arts and a little bit of business in there as well.
There's, for me, it's very much, I always try to bring it back to that business side of things. And I try to do that in a way that for the creative, that it's looking at your skill set. What is it that you're good at? And what pieces of that are the things that sort of fulfill you creatively? Maybe you don't want to monetize that. Maybe there's some piece of your craft that's just for you, and that's okay. But you have to be able to look at what your other skills are and how marketable those might be and who your potential clients are.
Well, I think artists become isolated sometimes because they're working, but for you to bring them together, it creates a whole new environment for them to now see other artists and maybe find out what worked for them, what doesn't work for them. To have a mentor like you and other artists there to kind of get the juices going to say, oh, wait, I can do that or I can't do that?
It's as much about treating artists and makers as professionals and holding them accountable to professional standards as it is about anything else, because it's just not the norm. People kind of think, oh, creativity and art, it's a great hobby, or it's something that you just do in your spare time. But there are people out there diligently working 9 to 5 in their studio, making things and
We're
building
almost out of
relationships.
time, but anyway, I love what you're doing, and keep doing it, and come on again and keep doing it. You created a great space.
Yeah, and we have a ton of upcoming events, so I encourage folks to check out our website. There's a lot of opportunities to get involved.
You got a new website now for
electricitybarn.org.
Okay, thank you for watching Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region. Always a great show, great guests. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.